Hello and welcome everyone. This is Lavender Sky Panther. Today is Monday, May 11th, 2020. And today we're going to go over a topic, I'm calling it Strange Sun and Sky Fun. It's a collection of images and sky observations happening between May 7th and May 10th, 2020. So before we get started with the sky observations, I always like to kick it off with a nice little image. Today we have some confetti sugar cookies and chocolate chip cookies and an image of Mother's Day flowers. So happy Mother's Day all week. Actually, I know it was yesterday for many. To all of the mothers out there, grandmothers, angel moms, anyone and everyone, I hope you had a gorgeous day yesterday. And I'd like to say again, welcome and warm greetings to everyone, whether you're new or returning to this channel. I'd like to say good day, osio, how, buongiorno, guten tag, kia ora, jambo, buenos dias, bonjour, ni hao, dzień dobry, and I'd like to skip ahead to aloha awinala and kalimera. All right, today's first sky observation image is a red-pink sunset looking west on May 7th. You'll notice some darker brownish, cloud in here. It's actually smoke, and I looked it up. Apparently there was a fire out in the Everglades further west. They're claiming it was human-made, human-started. But regardless, there was some really beautiful red-pink streaking through the sky and even passing over to the north sky. And as always, if you've seen my previous shows, I do have older equipment, so my camera does not pick up the the actual vibrancy that was happening. It was much redder and much pinker, but nevertheless still beautiful. Okay, now still on May 7th, so again we've got this smoke, this brownish smoke happening in the sky, probably from the fire to the west, generating from there. So this sun just looked very strange with this orange-brown haze around it, but it still looked beautiful as well. And here's a zoom in a little bit later of it. Now I'm labeling this second sun in quotes, sun plus other object. Kindly do go see a previous video that I talk about the sun, where there is illusion tech and potentially a solar simulator up there, lens work, things that are kind of obscuring and distorting the way we see the sun, and also potentially hiding objects around the sun. So I do document fully that there is a second object very much in the neighborhood of the sun that appears to be orbiting around it. Now from this view, it looks like it's kind of attached to the sun, this little thing. But in most views, you see that it's a distinct object. And you can see this in other instruments out in space, satellites and things catch it. And then also from, observations from people like myself and other sky and earth watching channels around the world. So I do recommend you go look at those too on YouTube and check out and compare what people are observing. But anyway, this was a pretty clear capture. I mean, I know it's a little fuzzy, but you can definitely see there is another object. Now, I'm not sure if that's artificial or celestial, some type of planetary body. But again, see my other show for my thoughts on that. Okay, this is just more views of this strange kind of haze, from the smoke in the vicinity of the sun. But also just, you can note some very weird cloud patterning, things happening in the sky that aren't actually very typical. And here is just a lens flare. The green is just a lens flare. All right, this I'm calling Crafty Cloud with a question mark because, again, we have a little bit trace of this, what could be smoke from the Everglades. And then this shape starts emerging. So it looks like an elongated or flattened out football or eye. But, just has a very clear, distinct shape. And like I like to say, too, if you work with carpentry or millwork, this kind of reminds me of a knot in wood, like in a piece of plywood. Sorry, I'm trying to get my cursor, the shape of this. But anyway, it just was very, unusual, worth capturing. I wanted to share it with you. Okay, here's a huge question mark. What the heck is going on here? I'm just calling it cloud identification conundrum. You could also call it a cloud identification crisis. Someone's having a crisis here in identity. What is going on here? So I know that these clouds, I've observed them enough to know that these just pop up. They materialize out of nowhere. You'll be watching a blue sky and all of a sudden these start to emerge. But then again, right behind it is more of like the sky wisp effect. This looks like a deliberate chemtrail to me. And then this is like ripple work. I'm not sure what's happening up in here. And then what the heck is this? Not only do we have these bars, I've noted that in other shows, this kind of shape, but it also looks out of focus. But the whole image is in focus. It's the same phenomenon happening over here. Everything's in focus, but then there's this one cloud area that looks, deliberately hazy and out of focus. It's hard to explain, but that is how it looked, and with the naked eye, without any camera. This just seemed weird and fuzzy. This was clear, and the other parts were clear. So I'm not sure what phenomenon is happening on here. I don't even know how. As you can see how that could pop up anywhere. But how do we get this movement, this movement, this movement, and whatever is going on here, all in the same locale? I don't have an answer for that right now. I would love to find out. It's a true head scratcher right now in this moment. So if anybody has any good ideas, do kindly let me know in the comment section. Okay, here's another image of an odd cloud pattern. So again, this type of thing with very distinct edge, these, striations, or, just I'm not actually not even sure what to call these separations, or fingers, or however you want to look at it, aren't typical in the sky. And especially you've got this streaking down in this motion, this down on another angle. So again, more questions I have for you than answers today, but I wanted to capture this and share it with you. Okay, again, odd cloud pattern. We've got these bars happening this way, and these happening this way. So how can that even happen right smack up next to each other? I mean, that's hitting in like on angle perpendicular. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but again, have a look, and look in your skies wherever you are. See if you're noticing anything weird like this, like I am. All right, now this is just called Strange Sun and Chemhaze. So sun got really large, and another time it seemed to be much smaller, just in a matter of minutes. Then we've got this that looks like chemical haze happening here, maybe a chemical streak back there too as well. Here you see a good shot of the haze. I do believe that's chemical filled, and that's the remnant of a chemtrail. And then you just have other activity happening, very different types of cloud activity once again. Just something that just does not seem right up in the skies these days. Not right, or at least not natural. Okay, now this was taken on May 9th. Now I did capture the Schumann resonance from May 9th. Is happening over here. So at about the time of this photo, we're sitting over here. So if you're not familiar with the Schumann resonance, it's a graph, it's instrumentation that's document what's been dubbed the heartbeat of the Earth. So there's a low frequency wave that seems to emanate, and I believe it's 7.8 hertz. I got to double check that. And then when there's higher activity, or positive things happening, either coming out from the cosmos or generated from collective consciousness, like different group meditation sessions. An example was a global meditation that happened on April 4th, 2020. When that happened, on any given that given day, all of this went like blank out to white. So it showed an elevation of consciousness, and that just went off the charts here. So this particular day is tracking more like this. So there was a little burst of positive waves happening somewhere. So my point is that you pick it up too well. I did not change or enhance the photos, so they're a little like dulled out. But there was some very intense green. It was shimmering. It was more like this color. It even looked bioluminescent. It was really pretty amazing. And so there was a green. You can see it better here in pink. And pink and green track with the heart chakras of the body. So I do believe on this particular moment, this was the most vibrant I've seen it. And again, it was so much more vibrant in person, the greens and the pinks. But I do believe that is something coming, from the sun or through the sun, that is bringing positive vibes to us. So it's important to be out in the sun to receive these, not inside. So even if you can be out 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the sun, I do believe, has some type of solar simulator or lens work in front of it. So I've noticed the quality and character of the sun does burn much more intensely than in previous years, in a different way. So you know your own body and your skin and what it can handle. That's why I just say maybe try being out in the sun 5 minutes incrementally at a time, and see what works for you, so you don't get too burned. But nevertheless, still, it's important to get the vitamins and nutrients, and actually extra special if you understand how the spiritual level works. Special things coming in, through our sun. Okay, now I like to close the show on a little nature note. In this case, I did go back and capture one of the other beautiful acts of kindness happening out in the communities here during these very odd and very dubious times. I just say dubious because I do believe there is a greater agenda happening behind what is being reported, and that what is being reported is not at all the case of what's happening in actuality. And I'm basing this on not only years of research, but also on my own personal observations of what's happening, or let me just say what is absolutely not happening at hospitals around. So regardless of what your opinion is about the, I'm just going to say virus in quotes, there's this great opportunity to spread kindness around the world and love no matter what's happening. So in this case, I'm just saying dare to be creative, care to express kindness. And here's a question and challenge for you if you're not doing it already. What simple acts can you do to grow love and encouragement outward in your neighborhood and community, and to even touch people all over the world? So these people strung up these hearts, and they've been there for months, just, as a drive-by there along the roadside to wish people well and send out love. And in a previous show, I also showed people drawing with chalk on the streets, so as you drive by or walk by, or on a bicycle, you can see this. So take a moment. It can be very simple with chalk. It can be cut out paper. It can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. But do something to just send some extra love out there. We all could use it, and why not? Okay, so I'm going to close now saying thank you for cooling your jets here a while. These are just some jets doing some exhibition flying. No worries there. But they're just trailing condensation trails, so that we do know the difference by now if you've watched my show. If you don't know or haven't heard about chemtrails, do visit an early show that I've done. It's called Trails in the Sky, or Sky Trails, the Chems and Cons. So anyway, until the next time, I'd like to thank you for being here, and I wish you a gorgeous week ahead, a beautiful day or evening right now, wherever you are in the world. I wish you great peace and tremendous love. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.